Hey, this is Kellsbells, and this year I hosted a Age of Empires 2 tournament for my friends and family, and here is the championship game. First thing we're going to do is click Fog of War so we'll be able to see. Here we have Tanner P6260 in the teal. Up here we have It's Seabass in the orange. Over on the top we have the Bigger Huff in purple, and down here on the bottom we have Whatever Dude in blue. So at the beginning, people are building their houses, they're sending their villagers to go collect sheep. They both send their scouts. It's Seabass is sending 2 vills and a scout to go wall. The Bigger Huff and Whatever Dude are primarily focusing on their economy at this point. They're playing on the hardest difficulty, so as you're going to see here, there are wolves. So It's Seabass gets attacked by 2 wolves. He decides to sacrifice 1 vill and send his scout back to go help save it. Over here, Tanner's also going to get attacked by a wolf with 2 vills. The Bigger Huff sent his scout forward to collect the 2 sheep closest to the wall. Tanner loses, It's Seabass loses 1 vill, but is able to kill both the wolves. See, It's Seabass decide to use this vill to attack the scout, so it's going to be a 2v1, and we'll watch as they clean up that scout once he gives it a little more health. Tanner's getting another wolf over here in the meantime, and it looks like Whatever Dude has quite a few vills on sheep. Bigger Huff is starting with a lumber camp, and It's Seabass is going to secure the walling position. Tanner's getting a wall up on his side, and he's going to steal 2 of Whatever Dude's sheep by claiming them with his vill. Now he's going to get him with his scout, and his villagers getting attacked by Whatever Dude's scout. Now it's going to be another 2v1 situation here. And he's going to finish his walling while still keeping the sheep. He finished up here. There is a straggler tree. It's Seabass signals to show that he's got it walled over there, so they're now safe from earlier pressure. The Bigger Huff's economy is going great. Whatever Dude is waiting over here with some idols because he's been distracted with the scout fight, which does happen. It's hard to focus on everything all at once. So with 2 layers of walls here, It's Seabass is getting his sheep. Tanner's got his lumber camp going, and he's going to finish the scout. There's a thing, the hill advantage. So Whatever Dude did as much damage as he possibly could to Tanner's scout before falling. So Tanner gets his walling position, he escapes with 2 extra sheep, and he still has his scout. And he's got a lumber camp up, and his sheep are working, or his villagers are working on gathering sheep. The Bigger Huff has already gotten his boar, and he's got his lumber camp. His economy is looking really good. If we look at the villager count, up top Tanner's at 14, and the Bigger Huff at this point is also at 14, so seems like it's a pretty even game so far. Compared to Seabass right now, Seabass is at 10, and Whatever Dude is at 13. The score at the bottom shows that right now the Bigger Huff and Whatever Dude have the score lead. Their average team score is 1288 compared to 1282 from Tanner and It's Seabass. Well, Whatever Dude just lost a villager to a boar, which is unfortunate. He's building a barracks, and so he's a little bit distracted. He shoots a boar twice and he lures it back to his TC, where he has the remaining vills shoot it, where they will be able to start gathering. The bigger Huff is gathering his last boar. You want it as close to the town center as you can, so your efficiency of gathering it will be faster. Tanner's also getting a boar. Tanner's choosing to cut the straggler trees, which is fine until you have enough to either send them over to berries or to send them to get the deer. The efficiency rate of gathering from stragglers is less than from a wood camp because they do have to travel a little bit farther of a distance. Same here, the boar, if it was directly under the town center, they wouldn't have to walk to drop the food, they would just be able to drop it in the town center. With the barracks here, the whatever dude is looking at pressuring early. He thinks he'll be able to get through the one layer of stick wall pretty quickly. Tanner's adding a second lumber camp for the efficiency purposes. That's a really good idea. He's still got an extra sheep over here. He's keeping it farther from the town center because if you put it right by the town center, sometimes your villagers split between two sheep and they don't maximize their efficiency. And sheep, as soon as they are clicked on, they start deteriorating. And so if you have 6 villagers, that's about the perfect amount to collect them. Right now he has his idle villagers, and he quickly puts them back to work. He's summoning the last boar by shooting it twice. Whatever dude is in the same boat. The bigger Huff is already onto farms. If we look at the bigger Huff, he has already clicked up to the feudal age in the top, and so he will have the fastest feudal age time. If we go over to its sea bass, he's at 16 vills. He's getting his final boar. Back to Tanner, he's at 23 vills and working towards clicking up. Finish some houses so he won't get housed. Whatever dude is building a lumber camp. He's collecting his final boar, and he's already started training a militia at minute 11. Whatever dude has 2 militia. He's chosen not to attack with them at this point. He's added some farms. Tanner's population is 26. Whatever dude's population is 22. And the bigger Huff has 21. Sea bass is at 20. Tanner is at 27 when he chooses to click up. So the bigger Huff is the first one to feudal age. Now that he's in feudal, he's collecting from his deer. He decides to drop a market immediately. He'll need a market and a blacksmith in order to click up to the next age. Whatever dude has still chosen not to use his militia at this point. Sea bass has collected his final boar, at least the one that is close to him. He's sending 3 vills up here. He's going to have a total of 6 at the mill to collect the boars up here. In this situation here, you'd want to build another lumber camp so that your vills don't have to walk as far to go drop their wood. He's building houses so that he doesn't get housed. He's at 25 out of 35 pop. Its sea bass is at 24. Tanner's at 27, reaching the feudal age. If we look at the bigger Huff, at 26 now. He's got his farming economy good. He's going to be collecting the final deer over here. There's a little bit of idle time, which happens to everyone because you're focusing on your economy, and it can get distracting to do so much at once. So the bigger Huff has his market. He's going to need to build a blacksmith or a military building. He did decide to come up and wall just so he would be safe against early pressure. We see Tanner's adding stone walls. The men-at-arms are still standing strong for whatever dude. Some extra boar down here. We'll see if Tanner decides to take them later. Tanner's adding a blacksmith, and then he is going to drop a market over here after he's attacked by another wolf. That villager's dangerously low. We'll see if he can save it with these. He chooses to attack the wolf, and really close, but he almost saved it. He's marked where he's walled with stone. He decides to drop a market. His market position here is purely so that he can click up to the next age. The markets, if they're close to your ally's market, you don't get very much in trade. I can show you what that looks like once that Seabass drops his market. Tanner will eventually move his markets farther, and that will produce more gold for them. So, whatever dude has reached feudal age, and at this point, he's got a lumber camp there, lumber camp there. It was smart to relocate him so that he wasn't too close to the wall where they'd be in danger of getting attacked if Tanner decided to push him early. The bigger Huff, his economy is going great. He's at 30 for 30 right now, so if he chose to train another villager, he would not be able to until he builds another house. His wall's looking good. He's got his blacksmith here. It's upgrading. And he's got his market here. And he's clicked up to the castle age. If we look over to Tanner, he is also clicked up to the castle age. Because he got a higher pop initially, he was able to actually click up faster than the bigger Huff, because he was able to generate more resources with the extra villas that he had. He's going to go ahead and build some more houses, so he'll be ready to start producing more villagers when he reaches the castle age. It's Seabass, just reached the feudal age, and so his villagers have finally taken these two boar up here, and he's going to be able to put them to work. He's already got some farms. He's got a barracks to defend in case he's pressured early from the bigger Huff. Once again, he's got a lot of things going, so he probably doesn't realize that the villagers are done here with the boar. If we go, he's working on the wall up there. Tanner has made it to the castle age. He's the first one there. Now that he's in the castle age, he's sending another vill. He dropped a tower here, which will counter the outpost, so that whatever dude will not be able to see past his wall. And he's adding some more walls here. Whatever dude added a tower of his own to prevent further stone walling. Bigger Huff has also reached castle age. Tanner chooses to wall farther back. The bigger Huff chooses to drop another town center immediately. He's using 6 villagers to build it, and he's the Spanish, and so Spanish get a 30% bonus to their building speed, and so with 6 of them, that town center goes up very quickly. I like to use 3 villagers per town center, and he has another town center coming up there in the corner. Tanner secured his back wall, and Seabass is finishing up his first layer of stone walls. He's also put the villagers at the board to work. He's building a market in the corner, which that's as good as you can get. If he puts it in the corner where the 2 trees aren't, it might get a little congested with these trees, and it might, if he trains carts, not be able to go around it. So the position there is really good. For Tanner to maximize his efficiency, a market down here would be good. The danger is it's pretty close to the wall, so if they break through, they'll be able to get to it pretty quickly. Whatever dude has started training archers to put in his tower so that they can do more damage. And he is just about to lose his outpost. If we compare the populations at this point, Tanner's at 36, Seabass is at 30, and he's housed. He'll need to build some more houses. Let's see if he's working on that. Yep, he is. And then whatever dude is at 42, and the bigger Huff is at 41. So whatever dude and the bigger Huff have the villager lead at this point. Tanner's going to be adding a town center down by these boar, and the boar will give him a huge increase in food. He also finally killed the last wolf on his side, and there is another town center. The town center is in a good location to supply the woodcutters, and he'll be able to build farms around it. That's why he chose this location, which is really good. His starting town center is supplying these 2 wood camps. He's about to the position where he could choose to add another lumber camp so they don't have to walk as far if he chooses. He's being attacked by a wolf there. He's able to kill it, and he's continuing to gather from the boar. So at this point, Tanner's population is 42, Seabass is 34, whatever dude is 49, and the bigger Huff is 49. So there's some attacking going on up here, and you hear that sound. That's the sound of a farm that's exhausted. You can reseed them by clicking in your mill and clicking on the farm. He's got his lumber camp upgrades, which is good. They've got their mill upgrades going, which is good. The bigger Huff is working on creating villagers. He hasn't chosen to build any more army now. He doesn't know that its Seabass is going to wall deep, and he's got 2 layers there, and its Seabass has already got some spearmen ready. So right now, the bigger Huff just had the final bonus that he can upgrade in his town center. Handcart come through for his villagers, which allows them to work with increased speed. He had a farm go out, so he has to reseed it. Whatever dude has his men-at-arms and spearmen ready in case he gets an attack. Right now, whatever dude's at 50 population. 5 of those, plus the archers in there, will be military, so his is higher than it appears. Whereas the bigger Huff is pop capped it initially at 60, but he's building more houses so that he can get more vills. Right now they're flagging their market location. They did have a worse market location because, as you can see, they'll only be getting 55 gold per trip. If we compare over here, Tanner will be getting 17 because of this market, but once he deletes it and has markets over here, he will be getting substantially more than 55. So Tanner's building up his barracks so that he'll have room to defend. He's gathering the boar. He's at 56 villagers. Important to note that his entire population is villagers, and he's keeping his 3 town centers going busy. He's getting handcart. He's constantly training villagers. If we look over at the bigger Huff, at this point he's got a barracks. He's keeping his town centers busy. He's going to add some stables and his siege workshop. He's getting ready to push. So Seabass is doing good, adding more layers back. Whatever dude has a sizable force there of spearmen and men-at-arms, and he's got a few archers, and he's going to be hoping to break through here. It's Seabass just advanced to the castle age, and he's already got his first cart going. Tanner is collecting the relics. He's already got one with his monk, and he's sending this one on its way. He's getting attacked here by the tower, and so he'll probably look at that consistently. His town centers are remaining busy. He's adding a new market there. Once he adds that, we'll see if he'll delete this one. He's going to add his gold there. As long as he's researching caravan in this market, and then once that's done, he'll probably delete it. As long as this one's standing, he only gets 17 per trade. His scouts dodging some arrows here. It's pretty cool. The bigger Huff has his siege workshop done. He's got 2 stables, and so he's getting ready to push. If we take a look at his economy, looks like Tanner's got 2 relics right now. The bigger Huff has 77. He's housed again. Let's see where he chooses to build some more houses. Right there for now, just so he can keep his population going. He's going to build some more in the corner. Got some idols standing there. When you set a spawn point, it's best to send the spawn point a little bit farther, because these ones might have been spawned on a tree at one point, but the tree is no longer there, and so they're not able to get it. He has done a good job with his mining camp. His economy overall is going really, really well. He's got 83 out of 90. The population limit in this game is going to be 300, and so once they reach around 100 bills, they can start clicking up to Imp, and they can start preparing for their battle. Tanner, he's got 2 relics. He hasn't deleted this market yet, but he's got one here. He's got 3 barracks, 3 stables, and he's building some houses so he won't get housed. He's at 81 population. The bigger Huff is at 90. And whatever dude is at 68. Sea Bass is at 47. So if we go to Tanner, we can look at he deleted that market, and so now when we compare the trade, he's trading some carts there. He's going to get 65 per trade. Sea Bass doesn't know that the market's been deleted, and so his cart is standing idle. When he realizes the market's been deleted, he can click that cart or double click and select all his carts, and then he can send it to the new location. He might ask Tanner where it's at, and he can flag it. Tanner's got all the boar, so he's added some more farms. He's added farms there. He's got farms there. One needs to be reseeded, which he just took care of. And he's got tons of vills on wood. He's got some on gold. So his economy is looking really good. Whatever dude's gotten his military upgrades, and Tanner's tower there is going to take out that lumber camp, or it's working on it. If we look up here, the bigger Huff now has siege onagers. Sorry, he has mangonels, which can be evolved into onagers, and depending on what civilization you are, they could be siege onagers. And he's got a bunch of knights. So if Sea Bass only had stick walls at this point, he would be in serious trouble, because he's only got 5 spearmen to compete against a lot of scouts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 scouts versus 5 spearmen plus 3 mangonels. It would not be a very good fight for Sea Bass at this point. But because he's got so many walls, he's bought himself a lot of time, which is really smart. The bigger Huff is continuing to build his economy. He's going to drop a castle. If we look down to what Sea Bass is doing, he's got 2 town centers going. He's got some carts. These walls that Sea Bass is putting up right now will be extremely valuable later in the game. This was a very, very good call by Sea Bass to add these walls at this point. You'll notice as well, he's also researched fortified walls, which is really important. If you compare them to the walls over here, these walls are not fortified. They have 2,340 hit points, whereas the fortified walls have 3,000 each. So it's a pretty significant difference. It requires more time to go through them. Right now, when the mangonels are hitting it, they're only doing minimal damage because they're not upgraded. So Tanner's at 115. His economy is growing. He's on a 3 TC boom. He's building more houses. He's got barracks. He's doing really well. The bigger Huff gets the first castle up for the game. Seabass is going to counter with a castle of his own, which that will also buy him more time. The bigger Huff is going and adding another castle, and he's clicked up to the Imperial Age, so he will be the first one to reach the Imperial Age. Tanner's adding some scouts at this point. He's sending his monk to go get the relics over here. Probably get one of them at this time, and maybe another one later. Either way, he's already got two, so he's generating the free gold that they offer. He's adding some more farms with these vills, training some scouts or some knights to send over to help in case they're pushed quickly. The mangonels are a really good idea for Seabass in this game because he's going to be able to counter if they send some rams. He's going to be able to delay their approach even faster and even longer, which is great. Whatever dude put a castle here. If he would have put it up on the hill, he would have had a really big hill advantage, but it might not have covered his economy as well as this position here. So in game, you always get to make decisions what you feel is right for you and for your economy, and this spot here will cover his farms better than if it were on the hill. Tanner's got a lot of farms that are going out. He's just reached this relic. He's got some knights, so he's going to reseed his farms. He could do that by clicking here, but he's left himself the wood so that he can build more stables. Looks like he's left enough room where the stables will be able to continue producing consistently and they won't get stuck in the middle. They'll be able to get around. So right now, Tanner's getting 65 per trade, and whatever dude, if we look at his, he's only getting 55 still. The bigger Huff is at 130 out of 300 pop. He's reached the Imperial Age. He has a monk getting a relic. He's going to be sending it to his monastery over here. We look at Seabass. At this point, he's at 69 villagers. He's training another mangonel. He's got his archery ranges coming up. The two of them talked, and they felt like if one went archers, one went with cavalry and infantry, they'd be in a good position. Tanner's chose a great position for a castle here. It's going to be the first point of entry if whatever dude ever gets towards his economy. It's on a hill, so it'll do extra damage to his troops. He's brought his knights back, so he'll have a really good force. Seabass is adding another layer of walls to further delay the push here, which is a really good strategy. These two walls here are doing their job, but the gates, super important. The strategy it looks like they're going for is delay on one side and push as hard as you can on the other, but both have walls so that neither one will get pushed too quickly. We look at the bigger Huff. His strategy up here is he's going to go for a cavalry push. He's hoping to destroy as many of the walls as he can. Whatever dude just made it to the Imperial Age. His strategy is also going to be cavalry, but he sees the fortified walls and he's not able to get through at this time. The bigger Huff is sending some scouts over to his side. He's noticed that there's many layers, and Seabass is adding a watchtower too, which will further delay the mangonels. Once the bigger Huff goes for bombard cannons and trebuchets, the tower won't delay it long, but if it were purely just going against the mangonels, it would add a few more minutes, which could be very important. So he's got multiple layers of wall. Let's see, he's got 5 layers of stone wall, and then he's still got some layers of stick. So he's bought them some very valuable time, which has allowed Tanner to get the score lead. Tanner's at 170 population. He's got Cavalier, he's got Two-Handed Swordsman, he's got Halberdier. He's getting all his upgrades in the blacksmith and with his unit, so he's in really good shape. He's got 2 blacksmiths so that he could upgrade faster. He's getting a final armor for the knights that he'll have. And it looks like his monk has returned, and it's on its way for the final relic up there. With their walling position, they did secure for themselves 4 relics this game, which relics provide free gold, so might as well have them. At this point, Tanner could choose to add more lumber camps here so his villagers don't have to walk as far. But he's got a lot of trade carts going. He's getting a good income. He's building more farms, so he'll have enough to supply as many Cavalier and Halberdiers and champions that he wants. He's building a great force. He's going to need to build more houses so that it doesn't get population cap. Seabass is facing this. If we do the Fog of War, he can see a little bit, but he's not able to see everything that he's facing. We do that same thing for the bigger Huff. If we do the Fog of War, all that he can see is that there are tons and tons of walls. He doesn't know anything behind it. So it's going to be skirms against Cavalier, which is not going to be a good matchup here. Skirms will be important later in the game, but right now against this initial push, the skirms will not be able to compete with them. On the other side, Tanner is adding a gate. He's got trebuchets, so he'll be able to knock down the castle. Whatever dude's adding a second castle, and he also has a trebuchet. They both have plenty of military ready to fight. So the population at this point is important. Tanner's at 216, Seabass is at 114, whatever dude is at 118, and the bigger Huff is at 184. So Tanner and the bigger Huff are pretty equivalent, and whatever dude and Jacob are pretty equivalent at this point as far as population goes. The difference is where Tanner and the bigger Huff have double the population at this point. They're working with double the economy, and so they will be able to have bigger militaries. They'll be able to have more advanced technologies such as the trebuchet and the bombard cannons. And so at this point, they're just going to have an advantage when it comes to the conflict. Whatever dude is working on building his economy, he's adding the second castle. He's already got his trebuchet. He's through the wall here. It looked like, but maybe he was trying to send the trebuchet farther, and now it's confused with where it's going to go. But he did get this through, so he does have a hole right there that he's able to get his units through if he needs. Tanner's going to be sending his trebs, and he's got fully upgraded paladins, which at this point could clear everything. On this side, we're seeing a third castle added by the bigger Huff, so this will be a very difficult place to push because 3 castles together, it's going to be a tough thing to get through. We got 2 castles here. A castle back here would protect the economy from raids better, and let's see, whatever dude does have enough stone, so he could add a castle here to protect this, or he could add a castle here to protect the backside of his economy if he chose. So Tanner's going to be using his trebuchets to initially destroy the trebuchets of whatever dude. Up here we're seeing the third castle. This is important that the bigger Huff got siege rams. So siege rams are the most upgraded version of the rams, and they're able to go through walls quickly. Down here we see that Tanner did indeed collect the last relic, so he has 4 compared to bigger Huff has 1. So we saw some troop movement there. Seabass is sending all of his skirms and his knights down here with his pikemen, and they're going to come support and the push down here. It's a really good strategy to combine forces that they did here, because as you can see, the bigger Huff is gonna push up here all by himself. He is down here to support whatever dude, but they're divided in their forces. He has a large force here, and he has a smaller, very cheap force down here of just scouts. And scouts will not survive very long against the halberdiers and the paladins. These onagers are important. They're going to be able to get the trebs. Tanner decides that he's going to save the trebs and pull them back. If he left them, they might have got the castle down before they got destroyed. They might not have. There was a lot of military coming in. But he's got more here, so he'll be able to back it up. If we look up top, the bigger Huff is pushing very quickly now. So the mangonel that Seabass had to delay the rams got sniped by the bombard, which is a good strategy from the bigger Huff. His tower here shooting towers and castles, and archers don't do much against the rams. Over here we see the skirms coming in to help. Hopefully they watch out for these onagers. If they don't, the onagers will kill them in mass like they are here. These onagers on the hill are doing wonderful damage. We'll turn down that volume, because now that we're going to have onager shots and lots of military dying, it's going to get pretty loud. Up here, the rams are breaking through the walls. His castle for Seabass is about to go down. With bombards, things are going to get shredded quickly. So before he goes through, he's going to bring up the trebuchets. He just wants to make sure the castle's down. These walls there are going to be very important. So on this side, Tanner has decided to hold his troops here, which is really smart. If whatever dude and the bigger Huff send their troops in here, he'll be able to flank them, and then he'll have them surrounded and be able to destroy them. These Teutonic Knights coming up from whatever dude are very strong against the infantry that Tanner has. They take a lot of hits. They're pretty tanky. It looks like they're missing some of their upgrades. They are getting destroyed pretty quickly. Tanner's able to hold this gap in the wall with a few units. That's why you want to break it wide open. It's Seabass even further delayed by adding another wall there. He's trying to add another castle here, which at this point the castle might have been better used, backed by his economy. But either way, if he gets it up, it should delay and buy him some more time, because they've been respecting the castle position really well so far this game. One castle's down for whatever dude, and the other one is under siege. Tanner can delete these walls at his choice and then be able to overwhelm whatever dude and the bigger Huff on this side. He could go and snipe the onager if he chooses, which would now have been upgraded to siege onagers. He did get it with his trebuchet. So we see the bigger Huff come in at this point. He's using his scouts to raid Seabass's economy. So Seabass at this point had 110 villagers, and now he's under attack. These villagers on the gold here are going to be important. Or maybe not. Maybe they'll just get destroyed by the enemy. At this point in the game, Seabass did not have any villagers on Tanner's side. And so the conquistadors coming here right in the center, cutting off trade. This gate denied them from coming into Tanner's economy. And so Tanner is able to get some of his paladins. He sends them that way. Up here he's fighting against scouts and halbs with his halbs that are fully upgraded. Seabass's economy is still fairly safe because the conquistadors went right for the middle to cut off the trade. They're signaling to each other. Tanner's saying, I'm sending paladins. Seabass is saying, I'm in trouble here. The push to take down their economy is still going slow. Seabass is trying to further delay by adding towers. This was important, having a knight there to take on the rams, and then he's got a samurai. This castle is going to end up delaying. So I made a negative comment about it earlier, but this castle actually put in the work because it's going to help him cut off some reinforcements. It helped him destroy some rams so his buildings didn't get destroyed. While Tanner's trying to clean up the conquistadors here. The wall did go down initially. Seabass has his economy still under attack from this scout. So the two are communicating. Tanner's got some paladins there defending the gap. Whatever dude and the bigger huff have kind of stopped the push on this side. They're adding a third castle a little farther back to try to defend the economy. Their push is coming in. Seabass is doing a great job trying to snipe the siege, because that will further delay the approach. The conquistadors that were left alone are getting attacked by paladins and getting cleaned up. So this movement right here, this what should we call it? This exodus that Jacob is doing, is Seabass is doing, is extremely important. He's sending all of his villagers to Tanner's side, and he's going to add another wall, which will protect him. He's sending his troops back, which the skirms at this point will do good against the conquistadors. At this point, Tanner is deciding to further push on this side. He's got bombards, which are ranged by the Tuatin castles because they have insane range. He's going to use his trebs. He's going to use his paladins to snipe the siege onagers here in the Vills and the Mangonel. And Seabass is further trying to wall back, which is awesome. What a move, because that's going to delay the bigger huff even more. And this wall here will once again be crucial. It's kept the bigger huff and whatever dude out of Tanner's economy up to this point. And he's going to build another town center down here to keep his economy going. Up here, his economy is a little bit stalled, which is okay, because he was fighting against someone with 2 times the pop, and so delaying was extremely crucial in this game. It was smart that he noticed there was a potential gap there, and so he just finished walling so it wouldn't get lost. And he starts his reboom. While Tanner has destroyed the final castle up here, he's going to start pushing in on whatever dude. So these trebuchets are destroying buildings very quickly, and they have a lot of hit points, and so they're not being taken down very quickly by these halberdiers. Whereas the bigger huff, he's probably feeling pretty confident in his position right now. He's got his 3 castles good. He's still getting through. Seabass has some knights here, which will be able to counter the Mangonel. But the main challenge is they will need to clean up these conquistadors. This is nice to see that Seabass is rebooming down here. He's getting some more farms in a safe spot. His economy up here is being destroyed by scouts and conquistadors, so it's basically lost. And over here, Tanner is doing the same thing to whatever dude. Whatever dude has also decided to make an exodus once his primary town center was destroyed. He sent all his. They backwalled, doing the same genius idea. And he's gathering all his forces here, which was good, because any of his forces that he sent over here were just being destroyed. Tanner brings in all his trebuchets. There's a lot of stables here. If Tanner would have destroyed all of these, it would have benefited him later in the game. He's going to see the siege onager, but initially he's going to take all of the trebs and go take down this town center, which will be crucial because that is the last town center that he has on his side. At the same time, over here, the bigger Huff is pushing again. He's got trebuchets to take down the castle that Seabass added, which is buying him even more time. Time is crucial in this game. Up here, he's getting cleaned up by the scouts, but there's more conquistadors waiting to snipe their trade. Their trade is cut off at this point. They still have a few going, but the conquistadors will kill them on their way back. Banners flooding the economy. There's some conquistadors up here. Once again, we see another exodus of whatever dude's villagers. One treb goes down to the conquistadors, and they move on to the next. Up here, that Halb was very important. He saved these villagers for a little while longer. Now the wall is under attack, and so Seabass, noticing the wall's under attack, does what he's done all game and buys more time. He's going to add more walls, which I think is hilarious, because if you're the one that's trying to push all these walls and then you get through and you're greeted with even more walls, that can be so frustrating. So at this point, Tanner has essentially destroyed whatever dude, and the bigger Huff has essentially destroyed its Seabass. Its Seabass continuing to get this wall up, which makes it so now there's only one point where the bigger Huff can come in. Right now, Tanner's focusing on finishing wiping out whatever dude. There's a few up here, one more Halb, and then some lumberjacks. At this point, he decides to pull all of his troops back to come defend his own economy in Seabass. Seabass here is losing some vills. He's losing some houses up here. This gate here is still protecting him from that side. Seabass rings his town bell, which is important because that's going to preserve his vills. He's at 14 pop at this point. Most of them are in this town center. He's got a few stragglers. He's got this skirmisher over there. But most of his pop is right there. He's training more villagers. Tanner sent him some resources, and he's sending in a mangonel to try to go clean up these conquistadors. Which, if this mangonel gets a shot off, that is pretty awesome. Let's see if it is unfortunately not able to, but it would have been cool if it did. Tanner also rings his town bell to keep his economy safe. Seabass is still training villagers. He's signaling to Seabass to come up here and to rebuild up there, telling him it should be safe. So Seabass takes the villagers out of the town center, right into the arms of these scouts. He sends them. If these villagers can make it across, that's going to be extremely important, because then they'll be able to reboom in another area. So we're watching them. The conquistadors are firing at them. There's scouts chasing them. Some of them are dying. As long as he gets one, he can rebuild and be fine. So now that there's the Halbs, they did save. He was able to get 3 through. This one decided it didn't want to make the journey. It just wanted to stay there. This is his last town center that he has right now. Everything else has been destroyed. He's still got these hussars and these conquistadors working on the houses up here. Tanner, on the other side, has one Halb that's going to clean up a lot of these lumberjacks. If you look, there's a lot of lumberjacks here. And Tanner's got one Halb that's just going to take care of all but one. Tanner's going to clean up the trebuchets, and at this point he might have enough to overwhelm and clean up. The resilience of these guys on both teams is really good, because a lot of players, when they find themselves in Seabass's position at 12 pop and they're fighting against someone that's in the bigger Huff's position at 195, a lot of times they get discouraged and give up. Then there's Tanner at 222. And neither of the teams gave up. We're going to see Seabass initially was thinking about building a town center there, but upon realizing that it's clear up here, there's a few halves. These trebs are now a little unprotected. There's enough here that they could probably clean up the hussars. This one halb up here still taking care of the villagers. There's a little bit of idle military, but they're arguing. The main contest is down here at this point. Tanner's going to go and add some bombards to defend. He tells Seabass, I gotcha, it's safe. Come add another gate, which I love how many walls were in this game. Seabass delayed, and he's building another town center here. He's being very resilient. He's staying. If he would have left at this point, Tanner would have been outnumbered. 600 population to 300, and he could have been overwhelmed and lost at the end because whatever dude is booming up here and the bigger Huff is booming. They have a little bit of military there. He tells him, come build a town center up here, you'll have plenty of space. He sends over his trebs to start working on these buildings. He doesn't at this point see the hussars if we're looking at the fog of war. Well, he does, but he may not have noticed them. He does have some halbs, and this one halb is still up here, and it's just going to clean up. It's almost got all of them. This villager decides to lead him as far as possible away from that hill. So this villager was very kind to his fellow villager to lead this halb so far away, where he was surrounded and he was taken out. The hussars do go and they engage. They almost deny another town center by its Seabass. Up here, Tanner's able to kill a bombard, which is important because they were going to try to use that to get through the walls again. Whatever dude is coming, he wants to do the same expansion to reboom. Right now he's operating on one town center. He's building a market. So if we look at the market of whatever dude now to his teammate, which is right here, you can see them both on the same screen right there. So they're getting 10 gold per trip. Whatever dude's trying to add a town center here, but it is denied by Tanner at 1 hour and 17 minutes, which this is a crucial deny because then their expansion is reserved to this tiny space up here. So at this point in the game, Tanner and Seabass control half of the map. This is no man's territory. At this point, Tanner kind of has it under control, but no one's ever able to fully boom back here. There's two hussars back here that just keep beating on Seabass's houses. Two halbs would go clean those up, but they are so distracted. Whatever dude gave some resources to the bigger Huff to try to tell him, I gotcha, you can build some more units. The bigger Huff needed it because all of his resources right now are going to hussars, which are getting cleaned up by halberdiers. Tanner sends his halberdiers back to raid the economy. Whatever dude's able to maintain that one villager in the back, and the bigger Huff has one here. He's training hussars from over here, running them clear across through to come support his units over here. If you double click on your stables, it allows you to select them all at once, and then if you train in them, they all train. And so he may have done that here just to have the extra production. The trebuchets are being patient for a time. Tanner was just building bombards. He was refocusing on his economy, trying to get everything back where it was. At this point, Tanner's mostly building. He's building some military to come try to hold this area up here and contest the conquistadors and hussars, but primarily I think he's focusing on his economy, adding more villagers, trying to regain some of his economy so that he'll be able to sustain long term. He calls for another market, so at this point, their markets are pretty close. So Tanner's is here, Jacobs is here. They're getting 33 per trip, but comparative to their rivals, they're getting 3 times as much. Tanner's going to lose another treb here to the Hussars. Almost. He saved it. 13 health. So Tanner's at 292 pop. The bigger Huff is at 212. Whatever dude is at 70. And its Seabass is back to 36. So from 12 at one point back to 36. He's booming at a good speed. And he's had to bell a few times to watch out for these Hussars that are there. If this Treb were able to take these out, that could be beneficial to him later. And this one Vil, there's so much potential with what this Vil could do if it decided to build some barracks and then produce halbs and push this area. That could be dangerous for them later. Whatever dude does have plenty of wood, if he chose to, he could produce a lot of barracks there and then produce some halbs. At this point, he's choosing to go for scorpions, and they're going to push up here together, which is a really good thing. At this point, they figure it's 2v1. They think they'll have the numbers. They think that Seabass is out of this. And Seabass is busily rebooming, coming back into it. He's up to 43 pop, and he's safely booming here, adding some more walls. Tanner's adding some walls there, so that they're going to protect this new economy and build up here, which is so smart and so good. In the meantime, more houses are being destroyed up here, slowly but surely. Over here, we have another look at the lumberjack cutting down the trees. Lots of idle villagers here for whatever dude, and the bigger Huff after they built houses. The bigger Huff, his economy, he's back to 224. Whatever dude's at 87. Seabass is at 49, and Tanner's at 295. They're going to try to add another wall here. There's a monk here to heal up the conquistadors as they battle with the halbs. Got plenty of support troops. They're going to add a bombard tower on this side to delay. Tanner's economy is looking really good. They got trade going again. Seabass is the first one to get the trade going. He flags the market again. Tanner's going to add a market in this corner, again, where he had his initial market. And now that initial market will be in prime position to trade with his teammate over here. So maybe that's pretty wild. It was in the exact same spot it was in before. Maybe Tanner had next level planning and knew this game was going to happen this way the entire time. And it was the perfect position. Very safe, secured. So who knows? He might have seen it coming all along. Gotta love seeing another castle from Seabass, another town center. The resilience, the rebooming. Tanner is having a tough time fighting these conquistadors. They're killing his halbs and his hussars and his paladins. But as long as he's able to maintain this no man's land and make sure that no one's able to go there, it will be good. He's sending that Vil there to wall. He's trying to delay, and if they can stop him from pushing here, well, this is going to be nice. It would have given him a chance to flank if the battle was still here, and the hussars are going to be perfect counters to the skirms. At this point, where the conks are trying to use the notch, Seabass might consider deleting some of these walls just so that Tanner can surround all these range units so that they can destroy them. But the walls are still creating a notch, which at this point for them, where they're buying time and rebuilding, and they have more space, it's okay for them. Sea bass's houses are still being destroyed. I'd love to see like 2 of these guys just go up there and take care of those halves. And we'd like to see this Ville get taken care of at some point. Sea bass is adding siege workshops. If we take a look at his pop, he's received a lot of resources from Tanner. He's able to reboom. He's at 72 population. He's got a castle. He's got 2 town centers protected by walls and walls. They're in a very good position. If we look at the bigger Huff, he's still got plenty of conchs. They're getting lots of scorpions. They're getting some siege onagers. They're going to have to push it through a wall again, but they're getting ready for that. Whereas Tanner's massing his troops here. He's going to have a tough time with the siege currently because he doesn't have anything really ready to destroy it. The bigger Huff flags his market. They're going to start trade. Spanish get a trade bonus. They get like 33% or something more per trip. But at 10%, they're at 10 coins per trip. They're still getting minimal in comparison to if we look at Tanner and Sea Bass. Now they're still getting 33 because of this market here. But if we look at Sea Bass, it shows his farthest market is here to here. He's getting 69 per trip, and so he's going to be able to get lots of gold very quickly. And Tanner did delete that market there. It's like very, very good. So he's now getting 66 per trip as well. They're going to be in great position to get tons of gold, and eventually they will have a lot more gold. So at this point, Tanner has 890 gold. He's spending it on carts. Those 4 relics have been huge. They've been bringing him in some consistent income. He's bringing back the trebs that were up here. He's going to bring them down here and camp them by his bombards to defend the wall. The bigger Hoof is starting on his push with his conquistadors. He's cleaning up the villas that Tanner had there, collecting gold. He's going to delay the wall. So there's only going to be 1 layer of wall instead of 2. He's bringing in some trebuchets. They got siege onagers. Siege onagers could cut through trees, so if they wanted to, they could just cut straight to Tanner's economy and then push in here with all their force. They did that. Right now, Tanner, his population is 132. He's got plenty of food that he could build more population. He's working on gold. But his economy right now, he's more focused on building trade carts and getting his economy. He does have some units training now. He's going to send him over. But at this point, the military composition is in favor of whatever dude at 110 and the bigger Huff at 272. Sea Bass is preparing over here. He's back up to 100. He's housed because of these 2 hussars up here that are just mercilessly destroying his houses. There's going to be a large engagement here. Tanner was sending more vills up top. He was going to try to get the wall, but at this point it's too late. They might have also been going to gold, but wherever these vills were going, they just they did not make it. Send more forward. At this point, anything that he spawns up to here is just being destroyed by hussars, and so hopefully he'll pull back his spawn point here. If this trebuchet goes out there, it will be destroyed. On this side, Sea Bass is getting some skirmishers. They are in position here to prepare to push. Tanner's back up to 186 population. He still has plenty of food. He's got some farms that are going to run out. Sea Bass is ready to go. He's got his skirms up here. He just wants in. He's going to need to build some siege or a trebuchet in order to start breaking in. Tanner's economy is looking good. He's got plenty of farms. His gold. Looks like he's got quite a few carts started. He and Sea Bass. Ooh, and they even moved the market farther back for sea bass, which, what a move. Now they're getting 93 gold per trip. If Tanner would have added 3 markets, the production rate would have been a little bit faster on these carts, but it won't matter as long as they're able to hold this area. They will have more gold. If we compare it to the bigger Huff, right now he has 293 gold. Whatever dude has 1,336. Seabass, because he's putting it all into trade, has 8, and Tanner is at 325. So right now it's going to be a trash war because no one has gold anymore. There's still plenty of siege here. There's lots of heavy scorpions. There's trebuchets. This is going to be a pretty epic battle as they get through. The trebuchets are targeting the far wall first, and then they'll go for the close gate. The siege onagers are sitting dormant. They could, if they chose to, cut the trees on either side and push through. This is going to be crucial later. Seabass remembered he has his stable here by the secret gate, and he started to train some cavalier, which this is where all the reinforcements will come. Seabass is sending his skirms, and he's going to come support. They're flagging where the main conflict is at. So right now the unit composition, we got a lot of hussars versus lots of halbs, and Tanner is using the attack ground function with the trebuchets, and he's killed tons of hussars and tons of scorpions. The trebuchets here are defending like crazy. Albs counter the hussars, and so this matchup here is good. As long as he stays back here by the bombards, then his halbs are going to be protected. The conquistadors won't be able to range them like they would otherwise. He's trying to go snipe all these trebuchets. Trebuchets are moving forward just a little bit, so they'll be able to range the conquistadors. Right now we still just have the one. The skirms are on their way. This will be great. And this Ville from Seabass is still surviving and thriving. It's just hanging out. This one's been housed in back here. So now if it tries to use this area, Seabass has claimed it for his houses, which once all these go up, his population's going to be crazy. And he's got tons of food and wood, so he'll just be able to train lots of troops. These houses will not matter to him anymore, although they will fall. So Tanner's at 201, Seabass is at 131, whatever dude is at 162, and the bigger Huff is at 261. So the bigger Huff is the powerhouse at this point in the game, but he is going to lose out because now Tanner has 1,751 gold compared to the bigger Huff after all of his trading is now up to 209, and whatever dude is still roughly around 1,000. So the gold here is going to be a substantial difference as the game goes farther. Gotta see more walls here from Seabass. You gotta love that, because once again, if they were wanting to raid the economy quickly, they're not getting in. They're denied. Got his cavalier up here. Houses are falling, but he's building them faster than they can fall. Some of his villagers decided to be lazy, and they decided to not continue the housing. These 3 might be trapped in there now, and they'll be just wasted space, and then these ones need to start working again. This one Ville, for whatever dude, is still surviving. Same with this Ville from the bigger Huff. More skirms are going on this side. He's adding a onager. More scorpions are being trained and sent. So they're massing up here. They only have 1 treb left to push, and so they're not going to be able to get through very quickly with that. They're going to need some more siege. They're sending forward a siege ram, siege onager. They have these bombards back here waiting. They have plenty of siege here. Just none of it's being used currently, and so it's giving Tanner and Seabass more time to build up their troops. Seabass is back to 137, and he's got trade going. He's got plenty of food, plenty of wood. Tanner's at 266, and he's spending his gold. He's amassing something. Maybe he's amassing more cards. No, he's not getting more cards. Looks like he's getting more trebuchets to defend the area. The trebuchets have done great at defending so far and repulsing. Some onagers here. If Seabass were to do a trebuchet breakthrough here and push in, the problem is raiding with skirmishers is really hard. He's called to send him through the secret gate to flank here, which should be important. These two siege onagers would be very, very dangerous. This one too. So continuing on, the siege onagers are coming in to back up the conquistadors. Bombard towers are taking out some skirms over here. Seabass is preparing a force. His other skirms must have been destroyed in the last conflict. So both sides are just gearing up. They're bringing in some more scorpions. Comes the other skirms. Tanner deleted that building there so that his troops could move more easily through. He's got lots of trebs set up. Tanner's at 287, and he's got enough troops trained that he will be maxed out at 300. Whereas Seabass is at 183, so huge, huge recovery from 12. Whatever dude, 195, and he's housed. So their housing space up here is creating a problem. A new lumber camp here would be huge for the bigger huff. And over here, getting these villagers working would be good. Whatever dude, he's got 2 town centers. Both battles here are getting huge. Bigger huff is also at 300 pop. So really, really big battles here. Tanners sending in hussar after hussar. The skirms are coming here. They're going to be cutting off reinforcements, which will be good. There goes a bombard. So the bombards coming up to back the scorpions will be really good for this push here. Ready? Tanner has an unbuilt bombard there and there. His vills won't be able to reach him because of his walls. He could get extra stone back if he chooses to. More houses there for Seabass. So Tanner keeps sending out hussars. He's got plenty of food, but all of his hussars are dying. The trebuchets are coming in and killing. And we lost 2 bombards there. So at this point, he's down 60 on the military. But here comes the skirmishers. Their trade is running through. I don't know why those trade carts are going through. Maybe they think it's a shorter path. That must mean that trade carts are just confused. So here comes another wall of trebuchets to snipe some more conquistadors. That trebuchet's firing. Got a skirmisher with that shot. He's gonna try to snipe the bombards. He's got one of them. Sniping the bombards here is huge because the bombards are gonna be the thing that allows him to push. Sniping there. The trebuchets are killing lots of conquistadors. The bombards are killing conquistadors. This defensive trap is working excellently. That siege onager moving is going to be really big for these skirms. Over here, they made a gap in the wall, so they're able to bring back these halbs. And there's a trebuchet from Seabass. He's sending his trebuchets down to help defend this way. He's building more archery ranges in a siege workshop. He's sending in some onagers. Here goes this cutoff maneuver. The one cavalier with the skirms. Almost in position. The trebuchets here are continuing to take out some of the conquistadors, which is huge because the conquistadors are continuing to kill halberdiers. And now Tanner is teched into paladins, his gold units, which will be able to clean up everything out here nicely once he has enough. He's about ready to move them up and cut off the reinforcements. Here comes some more trebuchets, some more skirms from Seabass. More conquistadors going down to the bombard. Conquistadors are going to come over here and try to finish up the trebs, and the bombard continues to shoot. On trebuchets moving forward. They lose another bombard. And here the reinforcements have been cut off by skirms. If these were halbs, they would be killing the hussars much faster. But the skirms are a decent counter to the conquistadors. And then cavaliers was a smart choice to add some more. Tanner's at pop cap again, and he's going to push back on their push. On this side, they're gearing up. Still got the villager there and 2 stables, and then we got this lone villager back there cutting some wood. Let's check on Seabass's population. He's now available to get 240, so his housing has been great for him. These 2 hussars did clear up all the houses up there. He's continuing to send forward skirms to cut off the reinforcements, which if they can kill any of these conquistadors, it will make it worth it for them. This halberdier is going to clean up these hussars. The cavaliers were a great addition from Seabass. Now that Tanner's not fighting the reinforcements as well, he's been able to clear them back. Being able to clear up all this siege here will be huge. These 2 halberdiers taking out these important siege onagers. And going for the bombards. So cutting off the reinforcements was huge there. It allowed Tanner to be able to clean up a lot of the siege. And if he pushes forward now, he should be able to get all of that. Here comes the conquistadors to back it up. Seabass is continuing to push forward. A few halbs here would protect him from all these hussars. So if he would have chosen to go for halbs instead of skirms, that would have benefited him in this situation. Being able to snipe all of this siege before the conquistadors get there is huge. And then having the halbs be able to track down the conquistadors. So they all have so much to watch at this time, but all of this gold being taken is killing whatever dude. He's only got 460 left, and the bigger huff is up to 800 after saving for a long time. Tanner's at 1698, and then Seabass is at 89, because he must have just spent his. But the gold is making a huge difference at this point in the game, because the bigger huff will not be able to continue doing conquistadors, and once he's down to just doing this hussars, the halbs will easily deal with them. There goes another treb. There goes another bombard cannon, and more scorpions. He's still massing on this side. Seabass is beginning to push, making him have to think about defending. And so whatever dude is holding his troops in reserve here, he's decided he wants to push back this way. Right now they're stalled here. The bigger Huff is preparing another push. At this point, Tanner has the score lead by about 4,000. So the skirmishers are not able to push the wall. If he would funnel a few more towards the trees, the siege onagers might cut him a path and then he would be able to get in. But the siege onagers just shooting, leave the path closed. Over here comes a Hussar raid. The bombards kill a few of the Hussars on their way in. Here come some more conquistadors. Tanner's pop did drop a little bit, but he's building it back up. And when the units are pushing in, they are going to die. A lot of the conquistadors will go down to the towers, trying to snipe the trebuchets. They are going to get a few of them. Now the conquistadors are going to go for trade again. Over here, we'll watch some amazing onager shots from Seabass. He hits him once, hits him twice. So there goes a big chunk of halberdiers. These onager shots are swaying. So if we look at whatever dude, his population dropped down 50 population in those onager shots. We're able to break through that wall. Now there's a trebuchet, which will further be able to get him in. And they're still building back up his population. He's able to maintain that area. He's sending some of his Hussars up that way to help. Well, he's got conquistadors in his backfield, killing some of his farming, and he's going to be able to clean those up. There's some skirms from Seabass. These Hussars of Tanner's are going to get destroyed in this conflict. Whatever dude has amassed some more people on this side. He's got some skirms there trying to take out his stables. The conquistadors have been cleaned up. The skirms helped. Comes in another wave of Hussars. They're going to clean up the trebs. Or it looks like they'll leave 3. They're going to go for the farming economy. They're going to be met with some Hussars. Looks like Seabass is preparing to take out this gate. Once again, the resilience. A lot of times when people see Hussars raiding their economy, they want to resign. But Tanner and Seabass are staying strong. And Seabass is back up to 140 population. The bigger Huff is at 209. Whatever dude's 235. And Tanner's at 193. So whatever dude has the most population right now, which is about to change for him as well. If we watch this encounter with the siege onagers will drop. We lost 4 with that shot. We lost another chunk. His siege onager got hit there. And just like that, he's down another 20 population. Tanner's back up to 203. The bigger Huff is at 188, so Tanner's got the lead on his end. And then whatever dude versus Seabass. Whatever dude has 100 troop victory at this point, or lead, but he's not able to successfully push anywhere with that troop advantage.
because the one open spot is guarded by onagers, trebuchets, and skirms, and he's not able to get through it with what he has. He's got some scorpions sitting idle there because they can't get close to the bombard tower or it will destroy them. All of the hussars are running right in and just getting destroyed. So those are all being wasted units right now. As if they were pooling up here, they would not all be destroyed. One loads siege onager there that could cut the trees, but it's choosing not to. Now the fight is back up here by the scorpions. Over here, the trebuchets are going to now attack here. He's decided he doesn't want to go in where their troops are, and so he's going to come over here, which is a great spot. Tanner's able to clean up a lot of the scorpion siege. He's still amassing troops back here. He's got 2,433 gold that he can use whenever he wants. He's going to block the 2 holes in the wall with siege onagers so that the raids will not be able to siege workshops so that the raids will not continue. Now that Seabass is in, he'll need Tanner to delete the wall so that he can move forward with his push. It's going to be this bombard cannon that will come and try to snipe these trebuchets. We'll see if Seabass sees it and shoots at it. He does call for the deletion of the walls. Tanner's down here focusing on these hussars. We'll see if he notices. He does. He opens up a spot so that they can get in. Whatever dude tries the wall, but he is denied by the onagers. Now the fight is on down here. And Tanner's got momentum. He's at 296 population. The bigger Huff is at 192. His army's not able to recover. Whatever dude is at 223 and dropping with these siege onager shots. He's trying to pull over his skirms. He's trying to come combat it over here. That shot took out 1.5 of the bombards. And he's got some more halbs that'll be coming in here. We're watching, he's just lost 2 more of his population. These onager shots are killing him. They're dropping his population rapidly. When he sends in his skirms, his population's going to drop even farther. And that's allowing Tanner to mass over here. He's reclaimed the nomad's land. 1 villager from whatever dude, not doing anything over there. Tanner's teched over to cataphracts, which do extra damage against infantry. They do trample damage. And whatever dude, after his encounter with Seabass, is down to 150. And so he dropped 100 population in those encounters. So excellent use of the onagers by Seabass. And Seabass evened out the population 172 versus whatever dude, 150. He actually took the lead in those engagements. The bigger Huff is back up to 221, but Tanner's at 300. And so now the engagements at the castle. There's 1 siege onager here. It's going to try to... Looks like there's a town center coming up from the bigger whatever dude. Again, the siege onager went down. Still 2 hussars back there. Ville there, Ville there. Whatever dude is trying to push with his siege onagers and bombards. Here goes the first wave of cataphracts. The bigger Huff is over here trying to clean up the skirms as well. The bombard tower is taking out the hussars. More onagers coming out for Seabass. What a shot from the onagers, taking out their siege onager and pushing back the bombards. He's going to maintain momentum there while Tanner masses up top. He's got onagers of his own coming, and he's got a lot of onagers. He will want some trebuchets or bombards to be able to push these castles. They're trying to wall. They want to keep him out, but where they're only using wood walls. See if the bigger huff, he is pretty well out of stone. Tanner's going to deny the wall. Oh, he's going to allow it. He's just going after the bombard, which is sniping his onagers. This shot here on the scorpions was a beauty. That was a lot of gold that just got wasted for whatever dude. And those two shots there from Seabass. Very well played by Seabass. 180 pop. Tanner's got his army massed. Whatever dude did get his town center up, but only one villager working from it. He's too busy focused on the battle down here with Seabass. At this point, if Seabass had hussars, that would be the best thing to clean up the skirms and the siege. Cutting through here with his treb does force him to try to split their troops between the two, then he can choose whichever lane he wants. Right now he's got the lead on the treb battle, 1 hit to none. Missed that shot. Here goes the hussars versus halbs, and then Tanner's got some bombards that are going to be taking out the castles. This bombard's trying to snipe these, but they have a little bit extra range. And the halbs are going to clean up the hussars, and they're going to slowly take down these castles. The halbs are going to go forward and continue to take the engagement. Onagers waiting, cataphracts waiting in reserve. This battle over here between Seabass and whatever dude. Whatever dude's at 248. Seabass is at 183. And then Tanner is at 257. And the bigger huff is at 193. So Seabass has really been able to maximize his efficiency with his troops because he's been able to really hit the important onager shots. He's been fighting 2v1 or 2-to-1 on the troop ratio most of the game, and he's still been able to push. And then Tanner's got his cataphracts coming in. He's taken out one castle and he's partway through the second. There goes the second castle. And here comes the cataphracts. Will they engage the conquistadors? Looks like they're going to run through the conquistadors. They're going to go hit the halbs. They could get this bombard or clean up the skirms. There's a lot of bombards here from whatever dude. If the cataphracts start cleaning up there, that would be devastating to whatever dude. Meanwhile, another castle goes down from the bombards. So no matter what happens with these guys, it's drawn all whatever dudes, and it's drawn the bigger huff's forces inward. So now Tanner has this space to himself. He's got lots of bombards of his own. He's got more gold income than anyone. He's got plenty of troops coming. He's going for lots of cataphracts. Down on this side, Seabass was able to take out this castle. And he's pushing forward with more trebs. So whatever dude and the bigger huff have to feel like everything's coming in around him. Getting pushed on all sides. Right here, the bigger huff's going to try to cut through. He's noticed that there's a gap here where all of its Seabass's villagers are. We look at its Seabass, he's at 172 pop. He's about to drop when this onager comes in. That hit 2 vills with that shot. 2 or 3. Now there's a cut opening. He's going to come in with skirms. Seabass has some onagers waiting back here. We watch Tanner's continuing to push. He's got plenty of bombards. He's at max pop. The bigger hoof. He's at 190, so he's down 110 troops, so he will lose this contest. Whatever dude is at 280, so he's really high on his troops, but he's going to send them all in against onagers here. He's got a group of halberdiers coming there. He's got a group of skirms coming there. Seabass is moving his lumber camp farther back. Here comes another wave of the halberdiers, and they're going to run right into these onagers. He just lost a bunch there. And right here, he's going to lose above 160. Now he's already down to 23. Tanner continues to push up top. He's bringing in the bombards for this last castle. The bigger Huff is at 177. He's not able to match the numbers. Tanner's still pushing 300. His bombards are taking out the last castle. There'll be nothing left to stop him. That Seabass is still holding his area. Whatever dude was pushing 260, now he's below 200. The onager shots are destroying him. Town center, he still just has the one bill up there. They're getting pushed by Seabass on one side. They're getting pushed by Tanner on the other. Tanner's still at 300. Got some onagers coming in from the bigger Huff. He's able to get one bombard. And then he loses them all to Tanner's troops. There has plenty of bombards that he can bring in to destroy. He's pulling them back for safety, preserving his gold troops. He's trying to clean up the onagers up here from the bigger Huff. Seabass is pushing in down here, remassing his skirms. He's got them open here. He's taking out their barracks. Seabass is up to 211 on his pop, making it a combined force of around 511 versus the combined force of 200 there and 360 about. Onager's there, killing Tanner's troops. He's sniping them with his bombards. He's taking out one, he's taking out two. There's only one left to snipe at his halbs. The halbs are going in to get the scorpions too. Now there's hussars coming up from down underneath. Once this final castle goes down, there will be nothing to stop the raids. No more defense. A few siege onagers coming from the siege workshops over here. But with Seabass pushing in at the bottom, Tanner coming in with his strength up top. Taubes coming through the bottom. Whatever dude tries to go for men-at-arms, but against the skirms, they just get cleaned up. The final castle is down for whatever dude and the bigger Huff. Once these get taken, they won't really be able to push because they'll be out of gold. Tanner still got 2,665 gold. Seabass has 700, and then whatever dude has 300, and the bigger Huff has 187. So huge difference in gold at this point. A ton of cataphracts and hussars will be able to clean up these skirms. More hussars pulling in the bottom. If we look at the resources here, the bigger Huff is op capped at 228. He's lost some houses. And he's got plenty of wood, but running out of food and gold. Whatever dude has plenty of food and wood, but he's running out of gold. And his population, he's not able to maintain it because he doesn't have the buildings. There goes all their expensive siege dying to hussars. Their siege onagers that they worked hard for are also going to get cleaned up.
Okay.
10 minutes.
So she's busy. So y'all make a party.
They have a few skirms left there. Sea bass is pushing in at the bottom. The hussars are getting stopped by the castle here. Sea bass was able to buy another one, afford it. The bombards here are still sniping the onagers. There goes the last of the bigger huff's siege. Now all he's got left is skirms. Got 218 pop. Whatever dude is down to 124. Its sea bass is up to 210. And Tanner's at 200 right now. But if he sends in these troops, they will clean up everything there. Seabass is pushing down here. He's got the Vills taking out the archery range, which is hilarious. Got some siege onagers coming in. And with this wave of hussars and cataphracts, the bigger huff's going to realize that they don't have anything left to combat Tanner, and they can't compete with the gold that he has. And they're going to give him the GG. Some more paladins coming in here. Tanner signals that his paladins are coming through. He's sending them up. The skirms are going to come protect the paladins from the halberdiers. His villagers get killed that were taking them out. There goes some more siege from the bigger huff. At this point, they realize they're fighting full gold units. Push from Seabass coming at the bottom. Paladins coming up top. And the bigger huff resigns. And whatever dude, realizing it'll be 2v1, decides that he's going to call it too. He's going to try to see if he can get the castle, but he's going to run into a bunch of paladins, and once he loses his siege, he will also call it. Seabass is moving in at the bottom. Got more vills for taking down buildings. And that was the game. That was the championship. All players played great. It was awesome, and I was glad they all competed, and what a game for the championship.